Sophie really makes a breakthrough on her quest to figure out exactly what happened the day she fell from that ferry, while everyone around her continues to conspire for what seems like their own good. What's good, y'all? It's your good sis Erica Vane coming to you right here on Erica Vane TV with another Surface video. And y'all know I'm obsessed with this series, so I had to come and give it to you immediately. New episodes premiere on Apple TV Plus every Friday. If you have yet to get into it, go ahead and get into it and then come back for my review and breakdown. But without further ado, let's jump right on into episode number 4. So when we left off, Thomas and Sophie in episode 3 were having their beautiful kiss in the middle of the street, with her realizing that even as who she is right now, she still is cultivating feelings that she had before, and she just has to kiss this man. Y'all, I don't know if I have ever been for an affair more, because her regular husband is not, he has her in this conservatorship, and if she had all of, full use of her own money, her own place, like if she had been a person who has this amnesia, has this loss of such long-term memories, and she was placed somewhere where she could make more decisions for herself versus just being plopped back into the life that other people were telling her that she had, and then she decided to get married to this man, then I'll be like, all right, girl, let's not be cheating on your husband. She don't really know this man as her husband, aside from the fact that he is saying, and everyone is saying, that is my husband. And then she's grappling with the very real possibility that he tossed her ass off the side of that damn ferry in an attempt to cover up the fact that he stole millions of dollars from either his client on behalf of his company or directly from his company. It's just like, she deserved this kiss, and so did Baden, okay? And you know how we know that? Because they make sure that they get another one very early on into this episode. And I'm like, all right, cool, y'all want to kiss on each other, great, but like, let's not be meeting up in public. It could be a private investigator following Sophie at any point. She's starting to ask a lot of questions. She's starting to push back a lot to all the people who I feel like have been creating a very Truman-like show experience for her, which I think adds to the intrigue that is this series. Like, y'all cannot be kissing on the streets of San Francisco because you just had to see her. Like, we get it, you love her, there's a longing there, she clearly is developing more feelings and loving of you, but y'all gonna have to keep this cute until you get her out of this damn conservatorship and out of that house. You saw what happened the last time that she had anything awry or afoot or figured out something when it came to her damn husband. Ain't nobody got time for a second homicidal attempt now, all behind some jealousy and knowing more than you need to know. Now, let's talk about the husband for a second, because James is a hot ass mess with two sides of what the okay? In this episode, his colleague, who he revealed, and friend, like it seemed like this dude is his best friend, reveals that he got 48 hours to figure it out, fix this whole problem with the $11 million that's missing. We actually find that out because Sophie gets to the bottom of it. But he got 48 hours to figure out something, or else he's going to the partners, because he's not about to blow up his whole life in association with him because he knows, and now that he told him, he's made him complicit, which puts James on a faster time clock. And all the while, Sophie is trying to work her angles to try to figure out how long or how much money it is that's stolen, and a little bit more details on her end, even though Thomas told her he got it, like, girl, just keep doing what the hell you're doing and don't be doing too much that might trigger him. Sophie, girl, I know that you want your life, or you don't necessarily want your life back, you want your memories back and you want your life moving forward, but I'm gonna need you to keep it cute, girl, because some of the moments was getting a little bit shifty. But let me focus on James. Okay, so in this episode, he's battling between trying to maintain a false sense of normalcy when it comes to interacting with Sophie, while also trying to figure out how he's going to put back this money before the company investigator digs too deep and starts putting two and two together. Part of his way of getting some of the money back is getting $4 million from Caroline, who he calls for help, initially asking her for $9 million. All she can do is $4 million, and it's just like, y'all are definitely still sleeping with each other. Caroline comes in here talking about, oh, we just have to tell her it's been time, enough is enough, like, let's be truthful with her. Why did y'all start the damn lie to begin with? And I don't think that the lie is just about her life, it's also about what they got going on. Which just brings me to ask this question again. I think I've been asking it in every single breakdown since episode 2. But like, why lie? Does Sophie have some kind of ridiculous ass inheritance that she brought in that he has access to? And that's part of the money that's wrapped up in there. And like, did she actually pay for the houses and most of the stuff that they actually have? Like, there is some real thing tied to why he actually needs to stay her wife, because he don't actually love Sophie the way that he letting on, in my opinion. Even when they were like, you know, Sophie has the idea of them going to the place where they got married, getting a suite, and celebrating their anniversary 2 months after because she found the necklace while she was pawning all the jewelry. But y'all, we're gonna go back and talk about Sophie and that in a few. But they go back to where they got married, and he has these moments like in the ballroom explaining to her what their wedding was like, and then he gets all emotional because she don't remember, and then he brings her to the pool, and they also had another moment there which leads them back to the room and getting it in the room. And he seems so sorrowful and just, oh, I don't actually have a wife, but I have a wife and I'm just, oh, poor as me. Boy, I don't buy it. I don't buy it not one goddamn gone bit. You is a manipulator. You are definitely a narcissist. You might be a turned down version of all of these things, but your ass is raggedy and I see right through you. And I'm praying to God that Sophie sees right through you too, which I think she kind of does, because while they have sex in the bathroom, I can't really tell if she like fully enjoyed it or not, but she makes a point of going to go sleep with Thomas the next day or shortly after, and she was a lot more aggressive with him than she was with James. So I wonder. But yeah, there's definitely something deeper that we have yet to have even touched the surface on in reference to why James is in this marriage with Sophie. He's already had his colleagues say, I don't know why you're doing it. Now Carolyn in this episode is like, we need to go ahead and just tell her the truth. There is something huge that is bigger than, you know, him potentially getting fired and brought up on federal charges behind this money he stole from his job. I think it's even bigger than the ferry incident, which is probably also could have led to the ferry incident, because I don't necessarily know if I believe her finding out he was embezzling money from her company or his company is warrants enough for him to toss her over the side of the damn boat. And then also in this episode, Sophie, while trying to dig up more information on him, she also is still pursuing her memories, and she finds a way to get this experimental treatment that she wants by taking some of her jewelry and selling it back to the prestigious place that she bought it from, and paying in cash for that. And while she's doing that, she gets some memories of her having a lesbian relationship with some woman. And when they are at the hotel where they had their wedding and they're celebrating their anniversary, she sees a prostitute who is working the room, and then she pays her in the bathroom to kiss her because she's hoping to help jog some of those memories. And I was like, oh, this is freaking brilliant. I completely understand why she did it, and I'm waiting to see, like, when will that woman pop up, the woman that's coming from these little fragments of her mind after she did this anti-sensory submerge at this more experimental facility. Now, if Sophie's gonna be able to go back to the dang on experimental facility is up for grabs, because Hannah, her damn therapist, decides to call James and talk about what she was talking about in her sessions the moment before, or the session before. Ain't that against HIPAA? But I guess conservatorship trumps all of that ghetto. And then they get to talking, and Hannah feels like she's being erratic, or she's having erratic thoughts. And basically they put two and two together and realize that she went to this facility. Hannah calls the facility, and the facility reveals what actually happened. So now she can't go back there. Like, all types of HIPAA laws were just getting broken. And Hannah, your ass needs to be fired to begin with, because you don't feel like you're on her side. And I loved it when Sophie actually said, I thought that you were on my side, because you're not moving like you are actually her therapist. You're moving like you're her babysitter. You're moving like you are her manager. You're moving like you are here to literally keep her calm, pacified, and damn near sedated. But of course, you're not administering her any medicine. And I don't like that. All of her dialogue feels very blamey of Sophie, and it's like, how can you blame somebody even if you feel like she jumped off of the ferry as a suicide attempt? What in your brain as a licensed professional psychologist tells you to consistently blame the person that you believe tried to commit suicide? Like, how is that actually helpful? If they made a choice to try to end their life, okay, cool. But what is you pointing it out and trying to blame them going to do? And that's what I feel like a lot of their dialogue has been, like wanting Sophie to own up to this action that she can't literally remember. And you know that she can't remember it. So it's like, it makes 120% sense that she has trouble actually associating with any accountability around a decision that she never even recalls making, especially with the different fragments of her memory coming back, of her saying another name that wasn't her own, of her having an ID for a different name that's not the name that she actually has now. There's so many other little threads that Sophie is just trying to pull on. And if you was actually her therapist, worried about her well-being and here to 100% do your job versus trying to keep her sedated and calm and not moving forward and progressing, then you would go down the rabbit hole with her, and on every thread that she want to pull, you will be right there to help her pull it and catch her with whatever falls out from that thread being pulled. Now, I ain't no licensed medical professional, but that's how the hell you do it. And I said what the hell I said. I have had a problem with Hannah from episode 1. And when I tell you that she completely chapped my ass in this episode, and I really just wanted Sophie to fire her, but then I remembered Sophie can't fire her. James is the only one that can fire her. And it's like, girl, you need to be pushing for this conservatorship. Finding out about the money, okay, cool. Getting a better understanding of how y'all got married and what the day was like and trying to get him to trust you, okay, cool. But before all that, sign these papers so I can be free and make my own goddamn decisions. Because you and my therapist conspiring behind my back to stop me from actually remembering things, that's going to be a problem for me. All of a sudden now there's a story about Sophie's mom has some kind of psychological disorder that she can't give any more details or a full name to, but James is the one who filled out her medical history before she actually started any of the treatments with Hannah, and that's the reason why Hannah didn't want her to try any experimental treatments, because it could trigger some kind of psychosis. Meanwhile, you still have yet to give the name or the actual diagnosis for the psychosis. Girl, go to hell, truthfully. And how we know that this was actually her mother, or this is actually something that could be genetic, because James is the one who provided you with that information. This woman literally said, James filled out your medical history. You ain't said that you pulled her medical history from where she was born. Did you get her birth certificate and look up her damn mama? She literally has a different name than the one she remembers being called, and you want to sit up here and talk about you're trying to block her because you're afraid of some genetic stuff from her mother. Meanwhile, she can't even remember 5 months ago. Hannah, go to hell. In just doing this breakdown, I'm getting even madder just thinking about the audacity of this damn lady sitting across from her, calling her her therapist, saying that she's actually like on her side. Meanwhile, the moment that she walked in, you had her walk into a setup because you was feeling away. That's another thing. You don't get to feel away as her therapist. You feel away because she found a way to still go behind your back and do something that you ain't want her to do. You're literally just her therapist. You ain't her goddamn mama. You didn't make a declaration and a rule that she has to live by for her life. You advised her not to go to that facility, but she still gets to do whatever the hell she wants to do because it's her life. Hannah sitting up there like the goddamn on Grand Poobah, pissed and irritated as soon as Sophie walks into the appointment. It's like, are you a therapist or you think you one of my homegirls and you mad I didn't take your advice? Like, which one is it? All right, y'all, I'm gonna stop ranting about Hannah because that lady really pissed me off, and she's going to be, I think, the biggest downfall for Sophie. So I don't know how, but she needs to, 1, stop going to her, get a new one if she can, but 2, get out of this conservatorship as soon as possible. I think that aside from James, Hannah is the most dangerous person within Sophie's immediate proximity right now, and she needs to be dealt with. And please tell James what the hell is going on, because sir, is there anything legally police wise that we can do about this damn conservatorship? Because it's given very much so Britney Spears at this point, and she needs to be free from this. How can we get her free? And I think that's it, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on episode number 4, season 1 of Surface. I definitely got a lot more agitated in this breakdown. I hope you still enjoyed the video, and I cannot wait to jump down in the comment section and discuss this episode with you as the series continues on. This is really the halfway point because I believe that there are 8 episodes this season. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on your bell notification so you don't miss out on any of my Surface videos or other dope television series that are cross networks and streaming. It's your good sis you love to talk TV with. See you in the next one.